Greetings and welcome to the 6:30 edition of Prime News on My Media Prime. We are live from Douala. My name is Genda Peldrigne Blanche King. Four alleged baby thieves are currently under custody. They are accused of stealing a 7-month-old baby during a funeral in the west region of the country some weeks ago. News of the disappearance of the 7-month-old baby led to investigations and subsequent arrest of the suspects, as our reporter Nora Kakibi tells us.
A 6-month-old baby who was allegedly stolen earlier this month has been found at last. Ewane Maxime Fandio, who was taken away from his parents by unknown persons at a funeral ground in Manengole, Mongo North, is presently in the safety and comfort of his mother's arms. The boy's mother, whose world seemed crushed, did not waste any time in alerting the security officers in Manengole. The security officers on their part immediately launched investigations in which the alleged thieves were later tracked down.
It was around the 8th, the 9th of this month when a lady came and complained, deposited her complaint at the company, the new company in Samba, for the theft of a child. Immediately, the company commander organized step down by the National Union to Manengole. That is where we succeeded to get the thief.
The now happy mother narrates her desperation and how her baby disappeared at a funeral vigil in Manengole. I live in Kongsamba, but I was attending my aunt's funeral at Manengole. At about 11 p.m., I joined other family members to enjoy the dance groups while the baby was asleep with my younger brother's friend in the room. On checking the baby, I discovered he was nowhere to be found. All efforts to retrieve my baby proved futile, and I immediately reported to the gendarmerie officers. According to the alleged baby thieves, the baby was meant to be sold for 500,000 francs CFA. Fortunately, the 4 of them have been apprehended and are currently under custody awaiting justice. Meanwhile, the baby's mother has expressed gratitude and is equally thankful to the law enforcement officers for their efforts in fishing out such bad elements in the society.
The fight against insecurity is still ongoing in major cities or towns in the country. Elements of law and order in Kongsamba, Mongo Division, littoral region of the country, have urged the population to give maximum cooperation so that criminals be tracked and punished accordingly. This call was made recently during the presentation of some armed robbers to the public. Details with Fonquinta.
4 suspected highway robbers aged between 24 to 64 years old are currently under custody at the Mongo North Gendarmerie Brigade, Kongsamba Littoral region of Cameroon. According to reports, the 4 suspects led by 64-year-old Jele Frederick alias Master Planner were presented to authorities after they successfully carried out an operation in Bafang and brought stolen items to sell in Kongsamba.
That is a group of highway robbers. They operate in Bafang, and then when they operated, they came here to sell the stolen items, and then through information, they had to track them down and then bring them here. They confessed and then told us that they are keeping guns in their respective homes in Bafang. That is when the company commander, together with his elements, went down to Bafang and got the arms.
The 4 men were presented to the population alongside stolen items including motorcycles, building materials and weapons they used in carrying out operations. Meantime, officials say the stolen items would remain in their keeping for identification.
The stolen items, the bikes, will be kept here at the company, and then any person who knows that he has been victim of theft, that is, they have stolen his bike, will come with documents to justify. And if he comes with documents to justify, he will be given back his bike. And then the thief will be taken to the military tribunal in Douala.
The suspects would be taken to the military tribunal in Douala in the days ahead. Meanwhile, law enforcement officers in Kongsamba have called on the population to keep collaborating with them to fight increasing crime rates within that community.
The 6th edition of Impact Talks, organized by Go Ahead Africa Limited, has been held. The edition took place under the theme Strategic Management as Tool of Fostering Growth and Sustainability of Enterprises. Lasha Kinsley in the following report.
Strategic management is an indispensable tool in the growth and sustainability of companies. This was the focus of the 6th edition, Season 3 of Impact Talks, a monthly leadership training conference for top and middle management of companies, an initiative of Go Ahead Africa Limited. Leadership coach Roland Quemen highlights the importance of strategic management.
It's important for managers to have mid-term and long-term strategy. We are very, very operational. And when we are too operational, we have the tendency to just do things now, and finish now. But it's important for us to have time to reflect, to withdraw, and to project our organization, to project our business.
Roland Quemen explains further that for companies to grow and be sustainable, 3 key things must be taken into consideration.
It is important to have planning, proper planning. Number 2, to have a better organization. Who is doing what are the tools, what are the strategies? The third one is the staffing. How do we recruit? Which type of collaborator do we need in this current situation and even for tomorrow? How do we anticipate? The other element is about controlling. We should control and have clear audit of our organization. Last but not least, it's about evaluation.
One of the main speakers of the conference shares his 25 years of experience in the oil and gas sector when it comes to strategic management.
My message was to explain, especially to the young, that they have their place in our business. We really want to develop something with them. I don't think that we can do such a thing alone. It's not possible. They have a place. We don't have to always blame them. They don't have the chance that we had when we were young. Many things has changed, and we also have to be part of this development.
Participants were also schooled on the importance of investing in human resource.
I think one of the things that came out clearly is the investment in the human resource, who are actually the ones to enforce the vision of the owner of the company. So if you think long term and you don't have a team that you have invested in to implement your vision, then it is just thinking in the air.
The session ended with question and answers from participants online and in the conference hall.
A one-day masterclass aimed at boosting the comedy sector in Cameroon took place today here in Douala. The masterclass is an initiative of one of Cameroon's top comedian, senior pastor, in prelude to a comedy show dubbed I'm Not Joking, due for tomorrow. Nolinga tells us more in the following report.
After seeing the need to curb performance deficiency amongst public space entertainers in Cameroon, one of Cameroon's top comedians, senior pastor, in a showbiz/comedy masterclass, now redresses the status quo. Proceeding from a brief press conference, the masterclass is in prelude of a grand comedy show dubbed I Am Not Joking, scheduled for tomorrow, and according to the organizer, here is the backdrop behind today's event.
Comedians, they don't even know that they need to read. They don't even know that they need to watch news. They just believe that it's talent, and talent is never enough. Bankers go for seminars. Journalists go for seminars. Everybody go for seminars. But the entertainer don't want to go for seminars. That is the need. I saw the need for people to be taught.
Personality highlights for the upcoming comedy show include Ali Baba, President Chop Chop, Godons, Alain Menge, Elong Brander, Senior Pastor, Waxday, amongst others, some of whom have expressed great satisfaction towards this initiative.
I came with a bag of 34 years experience, and I'm coming to share several things. One, about creating content. I'm here to share managing fame. I'm here to share expanding your reach.
2 years ago, when I was here in Cameroon, I think I saw him on stage at the Canal d'Or. He was amazing. He was great. And it's important to say, you know, to the younger generation, when they do something which is good, you tell them that it is good, it is well done.
Characterizing this masterclass was also a chain of questions and answers between the seasoned facilitators and the participants, which has left mindsets transformed.
The most important thing for a young comedian is to be inspired, is to be touched by the elders, is to be touched by those who have made it before you.
With the Cameroonian entertaining industry on the rise, it is hoped that this initiative further boosts the growth rate to international recognition.
Some Cameroonians residing in the United Arab Emirates have decried the poor treatment meted them by authorities in Abu Dhabi following the alleged murder of an Emirati woman by a Nigerian man and his Cameroonian partner. Details of the story compiled by Eileen Sama.
About 200 Africans, including several Cameroonians seeking greener pastures in the United Arab Emirates, were sent home under very poor conditions as a majority came straight from prison, leaving behind their valuables when their homes were raided by police following alleged crime by an African couple. According to a source, it all started on the night of Tuesday, July 20, 2021, breaking Wednesday, July 21, when some Nigerians living in Abu Dhabi, headquarters of the UAE, were accused by locals of practicing witchcraft and occultism. This prompted the government of the UAE to send a message to the Nigerian embassy, who reportedly failed to address the situation. A couple of weeks ago, a Cameroonian lady and her Nigerian boyfriend allegedly murdered an Emirati daughter and pregnant wife. As the story goes, the accused lady plotted with her Nigerian partner to murder a man and his pregnant wife in a home where she worked as a nanny after she found a huge sum of money in the house. The said incident provoked mass arrests of Africans, mostly Cameroonians and Nigerians living in Abu Dhabi.
We don't have for Dubai airport, so now we will be first batch where they remove and this today. So there are many o'clock for this thing for prison where they deport we now. So we are playing the kickoff for 4 o'clock for morning time. So we don't have for airport now, so we will friend them. Or we write yourself today for inside prison. The job only come for Lajin building. They can't carry we, they can't broke door carry we for on top of this sleep. We don't know what we will do. A live ban where they put them for we for them. Or we na live ban, no money come again. A live ban for system.
It is worth mentioning that most of them, according to credible sources to My Media Prime TV, were unjustly arrested by police, detained for weeks before being placed a live ban into the UAE, then later on deported. Meantime, Cameroonians still residing in the UAE have pleaded with the Cameroonian authorities to intervene in the unfortunate incident.
The Fomunyo Foundation has donated basic food items to some internally displaced persons living in Kumba. This donation was led by the founder of the humanitarian group, Christopher Fomunyo, and the gifts were handed yesterday or on Tuesday, as our reporter Tamfu Sidwan Dimbia tells us.
The benevolent activities of the Fomunyo Foundation has continued with the donation of food items and other assorted goods of basic necessities to internally displaced persons living in Kumba, Meme division of the Southwest region. This is due to the armed conflict in the Northwest and Southwest regions of the Republic of Cameroon. 100 families of internally displaced persons on Tuesday, July 20, 2021 received these items thanks to the initiative of philanthropist Dr. Christopher Fomunyo, who has always valued reaching out to the vulnerable population and promoting democracy and human rights.
The initiative of one person say he want to do something for 500 IDPs. There's nobody who will go back empty. If you go back empty, know that the second phase, you will be the one to be called. Hello? Hi. Yes.
Addressing the internally displaced persons, the director of the center in the Southwest region says the gesture is coming from a man who has dedicated his time and resources for the service of mankind and has been reaching out to many vulnerable persons across Cameroon.
Remember people them. For play way day, it's wrong, he cry, ask us what can we do for this population?
anytime when he make a call for Cameroon, now cry. What can we do?
The Fomunyo Foundation team also visited the Ifata Institute, a rehabilitation center taking care of the deaf and dumb. They also visited other homes, which hosts and caters for displaced persons. Here, they talked and handed over some food items. Receiving the items in Kumba this day, beneficiaries expressed happiness and pray the foundation extends its activities to other parts of the country.
I'm so grateful with the largesse that Dr. Fomunyo has given to us.
I'm glad for doing it today. I think I'm today, so Papa God, I did beg Papa God, say make it put up for inside pocket more and more because it's time for pocket more, but Papa God will put up again so that people continue to remember we again in Jesus' name.
But we are very grateful that you people, you sat and think of us. We thank you so much. And since you have promised that you will still visit us.
The Fomunyo Foundation recently reached out to hundreds of Cameroonians seeking refuge in Nigeria.
The 8th graduation ceremony of the African Institution for Mathematical Sciences, known by its acronym AIMS, took place recently, and the Cameroonian has been called out as the overall best student. The ceremony took place in the presence of the representative of Minister of Higher Education. Kumon Rimbom completes this story.
Some 37 students drawn from 7 different African countries have completed a 1-year structural master degree program in mathematics at the African Institute for Mathematical Sciences, dubbed AIMS Cameroon. The 8th batch master degree graduation ceremony took place at the AIMS Cameroon Crystal Gardens campus and was presided over by the Secretary General of the Ministry of Higher Education, Professor Gabsa Wilfred, the Canadian High Commissioner to Cameroon, His Excellency Richard Bale, the Chief Executive Officer for AIMS International, Madame Lydie Hakizimana, the Registrar of the University of Boya, Professor Dr. Ernest Moloa, alongside administrative and political authorities across the region. Addressing graduates and stakeholders, the Chief Executive Officer for AIMS International, Madame Lydie Hakizimana, called on the graduating laureates to prioritize their time in everything they do in life. She enjoined graduates to use the problem-solving scientific knowledge gained from AIMS to help provide solutions to the different communities. On his part, the personal representative of the Minister of Higher Education, Professor Wilfred Gabsa, congratulated the 37 graduates and called on them to take their achievements and to be committed to take up Africa's challenges and provide solutions for societal and daily problems. He reassured the CEO of AIMS International of government's continuous support to the AIMS Cameroon program, reason why the government has allocated a 2.1 hectares of land at Ngeme Limbe for the construction of a permanent structure for AIMS Cameroon. In the days ahead, the Minister of Higher Education will be in Limbe to lay the foundation stone for construction works to commence. Professor Gabsa Wilfred intimated.
I want to believe that even though AIMS is not an engineering training institution, it's possible that the competencies they have based on their mathematical skills, to use those applied knowledge to be able to resolve the fundamental problem that this coastal city faces today. We are hoping, as Madame the CEO said, that the students become the movers and the drivers of the next Africa.
The graduation ceremony was marked by an academic discourse presented by the AIMS Cameroon Chief Academic and Center President, Professor Dr. Mama Fupaningni, which focused on the Enigma machine that was used by the Germans during the Second World War to code and disseminate messages such that their enemies found it difficult to interpret, intercept, and make use of it. The successful decoding of the code that the Germans used in sending messages saved millions and billions of lives that would have been destroyed by the Germans. Dr. Mama Fupanini added that AIMS' drive is to train a few of Africa's brightest young talents so that they too can be able to use the knowledge of mathematics to provide solutions that can save lives in Africa, just as the British scientists who decoded the Enigma machines.
Out of the country, vaccination against COVID-19 is now mandatory for all frontline staff in Equatorial Guinea. A vaccination certificate is now required from individuals before access to public places. Get this and more in the following report. The state of siege in Congo has been extended to 15 days in the Ituri and North Kivu provinces. This fourth prorogation is to address the growing insecurities in the regions. According to President Félix Tshisekedi of the Democratic Republic of Congo, the first reason is to resolve security and non-judicial problems. Despite the implementation of the state of siege, violence continues in the two provinces where thousands of civilians have fled. Though the situation has not changed much, civilians hope that things change for the better. In Equatorial Guinea, vaccination against COVID-19 is now mandatory for all frontline staff. Teachers, military and health personnel will have to receive jabs of the vaccine before access to public places. According to a press release from Health Minister, a vaccination certificate is required to access stadiums and other public places. Equatorial Guinea has officially announced over 8,000 cases of contamination and over 100 deaths. A curfew is in effect from 11 p.m. to 5:30 a.m. Alassane Ouattara of Ivory Coast will receive his predecessor Laurent Gbagbo on Tuesday, July 27, 2021, in what has been termed a historic meeting since the acquittal of Laurent Gbagbo by the International Criminal Court and his return to Ivory Coast. This meeting will also be the first since post-electoral crisis of 2010 and 2011, which caused the death of thousands. It is hoped that the planned meeting be a symbol of reconciliation and appeasement in the country. That's it for today's edition of Prime News on My Media Prime. Thanks for being with us. See you tomorrow at 6:30, God willing, for another edition of Prime News. My name is BLANCHE King. Fifth Data Bearing coordinated and news produced by Ewane Nolinga. At 7 p.m. Prime Hour will be live with KUNEH. Happy viewing and good night.